Hello, dear friend. Welcome to Healing Pages channel, the safe haven where every page you turn brings you gently back to yourself. There are books we don't just read, we live them. Not because they hand us neat answers, but because they lead us back to ourselves. The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer is one such book. Its journey is quiet, unflashy, yet profoundly stirring deep within our consciousness. You don't have to climb a mountain nor meditate in a cavern to seek enlightenment, because everything you need is already here, inside you, right now, in every breath, every thought, every feeling. There's a part of you silently bearing witness to it all. The Untethered Soul gently reminds us, you are not your fears, you are not the looping thoughts in your head, and you are certainly not the wounded memories of your past. This book doesn't promise miracles, but it swings open a door to true freedom. Not freedom out there, but freedom within. Today, let's take our first steps on the journey home, a journey of release, of stillness, and of a soul untethered. Perhaps to write The Untethered Soul, its author must have undergone a profound awakening himself. He isn't a celebrity meditation teacher, nor a modern psychologist touting healing techniques. He's simply a man who once wrestled with the question, who am I? And chose to withdraw from the noisy world to fully live in the realm of his own interior. In the early 1970s, while pursuing a Doctor of Philosophy and Economics at the University of Florida, he experienced a sudden, powerful spiritual awakening at the temple of the universe. From that moment on, he chose a radically different path, one of silence, introspection, and liberation. He lived in retreat, he meditated, and he established a center where anyone, regardless of background or religion, could come to find peace. The author wasn't just a practitioner. He wrote to share what he had seen, lived through, and transcended, with gentle yet deeply insightful prose. His pages flow like a stream, no noise, no judgment, just quietly washing away the ripples within the reader's heart. Reading his words feels like sitting across from a silent teacher, who doesn't lecture, but softly reminds. He doesn't point you to a path, he simply helps you remember that path has always resided in your heart. Throughout our lives, we have a constant companion, the voice inside our heads. It whispers, argues, analyzes, worries, sometimes comforts, and then confuses us again. And the remarkable thing? We live with it every single day, often without even noticing. Singer writes about this voice with such tenderness and insight. He says, you are not that voice. You are the one listening, observing, standing behind all those inner conversations. And once you realize that, a new door opens, a door to freedom. You no longer have to battle your thoughts. You simply step back, observe, and let them float by like water. He doesn't tell you to stop thinking. He simply points out that you are not the stories running through your mind. You are the silent space behind them, where clarity always abides. And from that space, you find serenity, not depending on external conditions, but glowing from within, a freedom born from no longer being swept up in every whispered thought. You don't have to control your thoughts, you just need to recognize, they are not you. Sometimes, you find yourself gazing into the mirror and feeling a question rise within. Who am I? Not your name, not passing feelings, but that deeper presence. You, silently observing. Singer calls it the center of consciousness. When you realize you can observe emotions, you aren't those emotions. You are the one watching them move inside. Like gazing at your reflection. You see the image, yet know you're not the image, but the observer. Likewise, within your inner life, you are not the stream of thoughts or memories. You are the space holding it all. Singer doesn't define who you are. He gently suggests there is a part of you always still, always clear, never swept away by circumstance. When you live from there, you don't have to struggle or strain. You just breathe. You are present. You come home to yourself. In that act of witnessing, freedom is found. Not the seeking kind, but but the lightness of inner spaciousness when you no longer identify with everything coming and going. You don't need to be anyone else. Just be you. Whole, awake, and truly alive. Inside each of us flows a living energy. Real, powerful, but often forgotten. Singer calls it our inner life force. Not fueled by food, sleep, or coffee, but by the simple act of opening our hearts to life. You feel it most when you're in love, passionate, or excited about something. Everything feels effortless, full of life. That's your heart wide open and the energy of freedom flowing. But when fear, worry, or hurt close your heart, that life energy gradually grips to a trickle. You live, you work, but inside there's fatigue you can't explain. Singer doesn't ask you to change everything. He simply reminds you, try living with an open heart, not waiting for perfect conditions, but letting your heart stay spacious even when you feel hurt. When you open up, energy returns, and with energy, you feel lighter, inspired, and profoundly connected to life again. External life may be turbulent, but if you keep your interior openness, that life energy will always be ready to flow. That energy is what heals you, nourishes you, and carries you forward, gently and strongly. In our body, the heart doesn't just pump life, it holds our most subtle depths. Singer calls it the spiritual heart. It's the seat of deep emotional resonance, where life's vibrations begin. Have you noticed, when you're joyful, your heart opens, and when hurt, it closes? That opening and closing shapes how you feel the world. Singer gently reminds us, you can live with your heart open, letting life flow through, or close off and carry unhealed pain. When the heart shuts, everything outside becomes heavy, but when you learn to open, even in small moments, you witness tiny miracles unfolding. What wears us down isn't just work or other people, it's the unexpressed emotions lodged in the heart, old wounds, buried memories. Singer calls these samskaras, the energetic blockages that accumulate. But here's the uplifting truth. You don't have to deal with everything to find peace. You only need to observe, with no resistance, no judgment. Let your emotions flow like a river. When you stop pushing or holding on, your heart knows how to heal on its own. Then you realize, living isn't so complicated. Just one open heart, one quiet inner listener, is enough to let life move through you, naturally, gently, and fully. In modern life, filled with trauma and pressure, it's easy to protect ourselves, to build a shell around our hearts, not because we don't want love, but because we fear more pain. Singer doesn't judge that. He simply points out that when we shut our hearts, we not only protect but also block the vital energy and real emotion. Each time we close off, we rob our hearts of the chance to live fully. We still live, but cautiously. We still love, but at a distance. But true healing of the heart happens when it opens, whether in joy or even in pain. Because when you allow emotions to come and go naturally, healing occurs, deeply and sustainably. Singer suggests maturity doesn't arise from control, but from letting go. When you stop resisting and quietly observe, your heart grows stronger, not because it resists, but because it becomes vast enough to hold everything. Don't fear vulnerability, because that vulnerability is the doorway to authenticity. And each time you open your heart, you step further into a life that is real and deeply felt. Spiritual maturity isn't becoming hard. It's returning to yourself, whole and at peace. Some psychological burdens cling to us for years, silent but heavy. Fear of failure, feeling inadequate, fear of getting hurt. They all keep us living in a constant state of okay despite inner exhaustion. Singer doesn't offer a magical cure. Instead, he gently offers this: you don't have to endure forever. Inner instability isn't permanent, and you're not obligated to carry it for a lifetime. Every change begins with courage to look inward. No blame, no rejection, just the simple acknowledgement. Yes, something inside isn't okay, and right there, you begin walking the path of freedom. As you observe your mind, you'll realize how many thoughts aren't reality. They're habit, fear, insecurity, conditioned responses. The mind often convinces you that fixing the outside will fix the inside. But Singer clarifies, it's that unobserved mind that imprisons you. You regain freedom not by pleasing it, but by pausing and silently observing. When observation becomes habit, emotions no longer drive you. You don't react impulsively or get lost in fear's spiral. That's when you truly begin to untether yourself. Not by force, but by gentle awareness. And you'll realize, freedom isn't out there. It begins within, where you stop being controlled and begin truly living. On the journey toward inner freedom, the greatest barrier isn't external. It's the quiet pain inside we never fully face. We learn to avoid it, to hide it, but in doing so, we close the door to ourselves. Singer doesn't tell us to toughen up or ignore our pain. He gently invites us to pause, observe, and open our hearts. When emotions like anger, disappointment, or insecurity rise, don't run or fight. Simply breathe deeply and let them pass through you. Pain, at its heart, is energy that arrives and departs. When we don't resist, it flows by as softly as the wind. What causes suffering is our grip or resistance to it. You don't have to solve the pain. You just need to be present with it, with a relaxed heart and observing mind. When you do that, you're no longer the victim of emotion. You become the mindful witness. And so you realize, no emotion is powerful enough to control you, unless you resist it. Each time you courageously meet your pain, you move closer to real freedom. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. Letting go means letting things be as they are, so your heart can breathe, so you stop getting stuck in your past or fearing tomorrow. Then you'll see, freedom isn't far away. It lives in each moment you choose to be fully present, even with the smallest pains. Some books thrive just when you need them. A Quiet Miracle, The Untethered Soul, with no fanfare or lofty philosophy, gently opens the door we often forget, the door to our inner selves. As I turn each page, I felt as if I were talking to a wise friend, someone who doesn't preach, just listens and smiles. I used to think freedom depended on having the right circumstances, but it turns out freedom begins with learning to take a deep breath when your mind is chaotic. It happens when you stop resisting your feelings and begin to listen to them with kindness. What I love most about this book is that it doesn't tell you, you must change immediately. Instead, it helps you realize, you deserve to feel lighter bit by bit. You deserve a life where you don't have to keep pushing yourself. If you're looking for a spiritual refuge, or simply a deeper understanding of yourself, The Untethered Soul is like a warm cup of tea on a rainy afternoon, not solving everything, but enough to gently warm your heart. If you felt a spark of lightness, or a gentle touch, after watching this video, please hit the like button so I know I'm not talking to myself. And if you'd like to walk alongside me on this journey of reading, understanding, and healing, don't hesitate to subscribe. Every week, I'll bring you a tender book, a message of kindness, or perhaps just a soothing pause, for you to breathe and come back home to yourself. Thank you for being here. Together, we'll keep growing, but in a way that's gentle and kind to ourselves.